Hello everyone, Tina here for Papertrey Inc. I have another fun project to share with you. We are going to make stained glass and we're going to do it the easy way. I'll show you how I do it, and it creates a beautiful result afterwards. Looks like a hot mess in the beginning, so just a forewarning. But we're going to be using the Papertrey Inc. stained glass windows die set. This is new, and there are 3 stained glass windows on here. We're going to be using these 2 here. For my greeting, I'm bringing in an oldie but goodie. This is the Papertrey Inc. larger than life piece die set, and also the larger than life sentiments. I thought we'd create a big bold greeting over the stained glasses. I think now we need peace more than ever, so peace it is today. We also have a foliage die set. This is the Into the Blooms Christmas Sprigs. I'm only going to use this sprig here actually in this set. I wanted some pine needles, and so this will fit the bill today. We'll be using this for my background. I like to add a little bit of texture, and the cover plate handmade quilt die will work perfect. Actually, it's not even a die. The cover plate gives etched detail in the back, and it's really pretty. So we'll put this in our background. And I do want a little sparkle. Since it is the holiday card, I'm going to be using this star and the Papertrey Inc. Starry Night die set. Okay, so let's start by first, let's create our background. Let's do our die cutting first, okay? And we'll do our stained glass last. So we're going to take all of these. For this, I'm going to be using some off-white cardstock. Okay, I'll die cut out an A2 panel, and then I will put this on my card front. So after we add our little texture to this, we're going to put this on an A2 card front. I'm going to use some Simply Chartreuse cardstock, and I'll die cut out both of these sprigs. I'm going to die cut out 2 with that, add a little greenery. And then for my greeting, I'm going to use the same off-white cardstock. There's 2 different pieces that you can stack together, but I don't want it to compete, the detail piece I don't want to compete with my stained glass. So I'm just using the solid, and I'm going to die cut this out 3 or 4 times with off-white cardstock, and then we'll stack them together. I'm also going to be using a pre-sentiment that goes with piece. We're going to stamp "'Tis the Season for" from this. Okay, and then my star, I mentioned a little sparkle. I have some glitter cardstock here. This is just gold glitter cardstock. I'm going to die cut out this star several times with the silver glittery cardstock. So I'll do that right now, and then I will be right back. Once I have everything die cut, and isn't that a pretty pattern for the background? It just adds so much. Okay, I did die cut out 4 pieces. We're going to go ahead and just add some glue, and we're going to stack all of these together for a little bit of dimension. Okay, I don't know what it is about stacked sentiments, but I just love how solid they are. To me, the chipboard looks just, I don't know what it is, but I just love it. And I know it's not going to smush in the mail. So that's my greeting. It's all good to go. I'm going to put this to the side. I am going to add a little bit of color to my leaves. So I'm going to bring in, this is Simply Chartreuse. I'm going to bring in ripe avocado and darken up some of the leaves. For the most part, these leaves are going to be, these leaves are going to be covered. But just adding a little detail to the ends is nice. And I always like to just do one side. I'll do the same thing over here. And that is all there is to that. For my stained glass window, I have a piece of gold mirror cardstock, and I have a piece of white cardstock. So I'm going to take my die set, and again, I'm going to use both of these. The white cardstock that I'm going to use is a heavyweight, and I chose a heavyweight because I'm hoping that all the pieces are going to stay intact with my heavyweight. This is about 120-pound cardstock. This is the cardstock that I use for my card bases. So it's a nice heavyweight. And then I also have the mirror cardstock. I'm not too concerned about that because we're going to punch out the pieces. For me to do quick and easy, I need these two to die cut and keep the pieces in. Okay, so I'm going to do that and I will be right back. So I have my gold and I punched out all the pieces in here. Okay, and then I have my white. It kind of warped a little bit because it was so thick, but I'm not really worried about it. I'm just thankful that all the pieces stayed in. So again, heavyweight cardstock is the key to this. I'm going to flip these over. Okay, and then I'm just to make sure my pieces aren't going anywhere, I'm just going to lightly tack some tape behind here. I'm not even going to go over all of them because eventually this is going to be glued down. But this will just ensure that my pieces stay put. You could use washi tape if you wanted to also, but this low tack tape works pretty good. One more piece for good measure, and then we have tape behind here, and I know all my pieces are going to stay put. Now we get to color in. We're doing messy coloring. I'm going to use some of my alcohol markers for this. Okay, I have some bright colors, and I'm going to play a little bit of music while I messy color these in, and when I'm done coloring, I will be right back. Okay, I'm going to stop the music for just a minute because I think it's kind of important. We're going to actually layer this right over the top. So I'm not concerned about me going outside the lines here. I'm just making sure that I'm staying in each one of the sections, okay, with each of the colors. So I'll continue on and I'll see you in a little bit. Okay, coloring's done, and it looks like a hot mess. I do want to mention I'm using alcohol markers, but really you could use Crayola markers. You could use highlighters if you want to. You could do this with any kind of marker, I think. It would look fabulous. Okay, I'm going to take my glue now. I'm going to go around all the edges here. Okay, now it's easy. This just transforms it. And this could be, I'm using gold mirror, but you could really use gray, any kind of glitter cardstock. You could use black, would be very dramatic and bold. I think that would be beautiful. But I'm just going to tack this down. And it just looks like you spent a lot of time on it. Isn't that so cool how it just transforms it? I love this about stained glass. Big difference between this and this, huh? Okay, we'll do the same thing to this one. Add a little glue. We're going to take our gold and just layer it right over the top. Give it a good press. I have a little bit of tape over here. A couple pieces wanted to get away from me while I was coloring, but no worries. But aren't those just gorgeous? So pretty. Okay, now let's go ahead and finish our card. What we're going to do is place this in the background. I'm going to stack them. This one's going to go directly on my card front. So I'm going to add glue here. We'll just tack this down. Okay, with this one I'm going to pop this up with some foam tape So we have a little bit of dimension there. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and add our greeting. My greeting is going to go directly over the bottom here. Okay, and then I'm going to take my pine needles. I'm actually going to tuck it underneath my greeting while the glue's still wet here. I'm going to tack this down, and then this one I'm going to add a little glue behind here, and I'm going to tuck it underneath here, like so. Okay, we have our stars. I'm going to flip these over and put some foam tape behind here. Let's pop these up here. Add a little sparkle. Wonderful. And then we need the second part of our greeting. So I'm going to bring in my stamp set. Again, I'm going to be using the greeting that says "'Tis the Season for." I'm going to take some white cardstock, and I'm going to be using my Papertrey ink Plum Pudding ink. This is like a real regal purple. It's almost like a black. So I want to stamp this on some white cardstock, and then I'm going to trim this out, and I'm going to pop it up with some foam tape. So I have my greeting. I'm just going to place this right across my piece. We'll just tack this down. And then I do want to add a little extra sparkle. So I have some gems. These are Papertrey Ink's rainbow gems. And I'm going to add some sparkle to the center of those starbursts. I did end up removing that star that was over here. I wanted my stained glass to shine, and I didn't want too much distraction. But that's my card for today. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a crafty weekend, and we will see you again real soon. Bye-bye.